LPG crisis hits restaurants in Mumbai, the hotel union says that must shut hotels if the crisis continues. Domestic LPG delivery now after 2 to 8 days, and now restaurants in Mumbai are facing the LPG cylinder shortage. All restaurants in Mumbai will be shut in the next 2 days. All restaurants in Mumbai will be shut in the next 2 days if this shortage of LPG continues. So LPG crisis also hits restaurants in Mumbai. The hotel union says that they must shut hotels if the crisis continues, and in fact they are saying that all the restaurants in Mumbai will be shut in the next 2 days if this shortage of LPG continues. So Mumbai is experiencing an LPG cylinder shortage, and it has been primarily triggered by global supply disruptions from the US-Israel attack on Iran and the tensions that continue in West Asia. And domestic cylinders face delivery delays of 2 to 8 days after booking, and while commercial supplies for hotels and restaurants have halted since Sunday. So the commercial supplies have been halted, and that is why the restaurants are facing this LPG crisis, and the hotel union claims that in the next 2 days all the restaurants in Mumbai will be shut if this crisis continues. In fact, if we talk about domestic cylinders, they are facing delivery delays of 2 to 8 days after booking in Mumbai. So amid the rising West Asia war, there is a new fear in the country. Hotels in Bengaluru and Chennai are raising concerns as cooking gas prices rise. Bengaluru hotels have said that there is an extreme gas shortage and that they have stock for only the next 12 to 72 hours. They said they will brief the central government and raise their concerns. A similar situation has been reported in Chennai as well, where a commercial LPG shortage has been flagged. Hoteliers have demanded an uninterrupted gas supply and have also urged the centre and state governments to act immediately. In Pune, the largest crematorium is facing an LPG shortage. According to the crematorium authorities, gas is available for only 2 cremations. Each cremation requires 18 kg of LPG. Electric pyres are being used for cremations now. The Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas has taken steps to ensure adequate LPG availability in India. Refineries have been directed to ramp up LPG production with priority given to household supply. The government has also prioritized domestic LPG supply to households and introduced a 25-day inter-booking gap to prevent hoarding, while imported LPG is being prioritized for essential sectors like hospitals and educational institutions. So LPG shortage hits home. Let's understand what all is ongoing across the country because of this crisis of LPG. National Restaurant Association has warned of closures. The association has claimed that there's a shortage of commercial LPG cylinders, and in fact several Bengaluru restaurants are closed from today because of this crisis, because there's no LPG. And if we talk about Punjab, oil marketing companies are suspending the supply of non-household LPG, and that is also the reason why the restaurants are closing, because there's no supply. The supply has been suspended of LPG, and supply is only of the domestic LPG cylinders. And in Pune, the Pune municipality has shut gas-based crematoriums. As we were just discussing, 18 kg of LPG is required for 1 cremation, and that is why they have suspended gas-based crematoriums. And LPG dealers have also reported surge in household bookings. So there's panic buying also that is taking place because of this crisis. People are buying these LPG cylinders in panic, and that is also what is being reported. There's a massive surge in the household bookings of LPG cylinders as well. Now, what is the government doing to tackle this situation? So government, we'll take a look at the government's moves to clear the LPG pipeline. So refineries have been asked to prioritize domestic LPG consumers. So that is what the government has asked the refineries to prioritize domestic LPG consumers, and that is also the reason why the supply to The supply to restaurants have been suspended because the domestic LPG consumers have to be prioritized. The move adversely affecting commercial LPG supplies. So commercial LPG supplies are being impacted, and so are the restaurants and the hotels. And there's a gap between cylinder booking raised to 25 days from 21. So earlier you were allowed to book another cylinder after a gap of 20. And amid the escalating West Asia war, there's a big warning by US President Donald Trump to Iran. Trump says that he's disappointed with Iran's Mojtaba choice. In fact, he goes on to say that Mojtaba will add to Iran's problems, and he has also asserted that US is going to further hit Iran. In fact, another big claim that has been made by Donald Trump is that Iran war will end very soon. So that's the big claim being made by US President Donald Trump, who says that the war will end very soon and that they've already won in many ways. He's also said that they will end the danger once and for all, and they won't be threatened by lunatics, and war ends when Iran won't have nuclear weapons. So those are the claims being made by Donald Trump. Firstly, he's issued a warning to Iran over its choice of Mojtaba becoming the Iran supreme leader. And secondly, Trump has claimed that this war is going to end very soon, as they've already won in many ways. Let's listen in.
Doing this for the other parts of the world, including countries like China. They get a lot of their oil through the straits. So we're doing this. We have a very good relationship with President Xi in China. I'm going there in a short period of time, and we're protecting the world from what these lunatics are trying to do, and very successfully, I might add. We're also waiving certain oil-related sanctions to reduce prices. So we have sanctions on some countries. We're going to take those sanctions off till this straightens out. Then who knows, maybe we won't have to put them on. There'll be so much peace. But when the time comes, the U.S. Navy and its partners will escort tankers through the strait if needed. I hope it's not going to be needed, but if it's needed, we'll escort them right through. And we have the greatest mine-sweeping ability. We have the greatest ships, and all of we know exactly where they're placed. We'll get them out of there very fast, but we hope we don't have any of that. And again, if they do that, if they play that game, we're going to hit them at a level that they have not seen before. So we're winning very decisively. We're way ahead of schedule. Our military is the greatest in the world, with the greatest equipment and the greatest people in the world. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Iran's a very powerful country. They were going to take over the Middle East. If we did not hit them, they were going to take over the Middle East. They had thousands and thousands, since their last hit, they had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything else. Most are now destroyed, but they were going to take over the Middle East. Those weapons were aimed at Middle Eastern countries that had nothing to do with this. They were going to take over the Middle East, and they were going to try and destroy Israel. So we stopped it with good timing, and we're very proud to be involved in this, and it's going to be ended soon. And if it starts up again, they'll be hit even harder. We're ahead of our initial timeline by a lot. I would say that we probably would not have thought after a month we'd be here. In addition to the fact that we've taken out the leadership twice and maybe three times. And we, as you know, we want to be involved. We don't want another president that maybe wouldn't be willing to do what I'm willing to do for the good of the world, for the good of our nation, to be stuck with a situation in 5 years or 10 years from now. So we think they should put a president in, or the head of the country in, that's going to be able to do something peacefully for a change. They've been doing this for 47 years, killing people for 47 years, whether it's the barracks or even the SS Cole, where they were involved. Very strongly, they always denied it. But they were very strongly involved in all of the people that died through the roadside bombs, died and are right now walking around with no legs, no arms, a face that's been so badly damaged. The Iranian regime has been attacking Americans and spreading terror for 47 years, and despite these countless opportunities to renounce their nuclear ambitions, which they had just a short while ago, they told Mr. Witkoff, who is standing right over here, they said, they actually said, we want to keep building. Essentially, in a real nutshell, we want to continue to build nuclear weapons. If we didn't knock out Midnight Hammer, if we didn't knock out their Iranian potential, if we didn't do that with Midnight Hammer, they would have had a nuclear weapon. They would have used it long before now. And at a minimum, Israel would have been annihilated.
And my colleague Rohit Sharma is now joining us from Washington, D.C. Rohit, big claim has been made by Donald Trump. Donald Trump says that this war is going to end very soon. What makes him say so? On what basis is Donald Trump claiming that the end of this war is near?
Well, a couple of things. First things first, I think he talked about how America has been able to achieve its objective, the ones that were listed out by President Trump and the White House, about destroying the infrastructure, destroying the Navy, destroying the production capacity and capability of Iran. So I think there was that, he alluded to that initially when he made those comments. And then I think the other thing is, we've obviously seen that there is pressure, in the global markets, economy and supply chain and oil. And I think those are the combinations where I think President Trump's being nudged a little bit by some of his advisors, we've been told, have asked him to try and work out a strategy to seek an end to this war in a way that A, America is able to achieve what it set out for those 4 objectives. B, ensure that this war doesn't, go far too long, for obvious reasons that about economy and whatnot. And then there's a domestic pressure, right? The longer this war goes on, the tougher it becomes in a midterm year for the president to defend it. So I think those are the things. But he also, Anjali, right after that, he put a post out on Truth Social saying that if Iran does not allow the flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz, he's going to hit Iran 20 times harder. So essentially, I think he's sending both the messages. He said there could be a swift end to the war. We don't know if it's days or a week. But at the same time, he's not giving up on those initial objectives that America has set out to do. So we'll have to wait and watch. And I think a lot of this also depends on how Iran responds and retaliates to the American and Israeli action in the Middle East.
Absolutely, Rohit. In fact, another big point that Donald Trump made was that he yet again mentioned about Mojtaba not being the right choice and how he's unhappy with the choice that Iran has made.
He put it out a couple of days ago when they started putting out a name, and he said any involvement should have a seal of approval of the President of the United States, meaning himself. So he's obviously not happy with the son of Khamenei taking on the helm. He also ruled out Reza Pahlavi, and we actually discussed this on India Today a couple of days ago when we said there's no way Trump would accept him. He said that he wants somebody from Iran, somebody internal, but not the son of Khamenei. So we'll have to wait and watch what that means. Now, in Donald Trump's own admission, when the Israelis and the Americans bombed and killed Khamenei, President Trump said that they also took out Plan B and Plan C leaders that America was interested in speaking with. So we don't have that. So we'll have to wait and watch what or who in Iran is somebody that President Trump can work with. And then if there is an offer of ceasefire, maybe a week from now, 10 days from now, we'll have to wait and watch if President Trump does give Mojtaba Khamenei a chance to at least make his point. But as of today, he ruled him out as somebody that President Trump or America would want to engage with going forward.
All right, Rohit, do stay with us. Let's also listen into what Donald Trump said about hitting military ships and drones in Iran.
Over the weekend, the United States military and the Israeli Defense Forces continued Operation Epic Fury very successfully. Over the past 9 days, we've carried out some of the most powerful and complex military strikes and maneuvers the world has ever seen. Now, you add that up to all of the other things, Midnight Hammer, getting rid of the nuclear threat from Iran, which was a big moment in history, in my opinion, and the great success we've had in Venezuela and all other places. Every place we've gone, we've had tremendous success. But while we're doing all of these things, we're achieving major strides toward completing our military objective. And some people could say they're pretty well complete. We've wiped every single force in Iran out very completely. Most of Iran's naval power has been sunk. It's on the bottom of the sea. It's almost 50 ships. I was just notified it's 51 ships. I didn't know they had that many. Didn't last very long. And these are fighting vessels. They're meant to fight, but they're not meant to fight against us. We continue to target Iran's drone and missile capabilities. Their drones are way down. Their drone manufacturing's been hit starting today. We know all of the places they manufacture the drones, and they're being hit one after another. Their missile capability is down to about 10%, maybe less. We're also hitting where they make missiles and where they deliver missiles. We've struck over 5,000 targets to date, some of them very major targets, and we've left some of the most important targets for later in case we need to do it. If we hit them, it's going to take many years for them to be rebuilt, having to do with electricity production and many other things, so we're not looking to do that if we don't have to. But they're the kind of things that are very easy to hit, but very devastating if they are hit. We are waiting to see what happens before we hit them. We could take them all out in one.
And a big development as far as the global markets are concerned. We're learning that the oil prices are cooling off after Trump says war to end. So after Trump's speech, there's a fall in the prices of the crude oil, and the Brent crude falls 10% after Donald Trump speaks, and he says that the war will end very soon. Brent crude below $90 a barrel now. Remember, till yesterday it was around $110 a barrel, and what we're learning now is that it has reached $90 a barrel now after Donald Trump said that the war is going to end very soon. So sentiment soar over easing of supply constraints. Remember, yesterday G7 countries also said that they will be releasing 400 million barrels of oil from strategic reserves. And now what we're learning is that after Donald Trump said that the Iran war is going to end very soon, there's a change in price, there's a fall in price of the crude oil, and currently the Brent crude is below $90 a barrel now.
Doing this for the other parts of the world, including countries like China. They get a lot of their oil through the straits. So we're doing this. We have a very good relationship with President Xi in China. I'm going there in a short period of time, and we're protecting the world from what these lunatics are trying to do, and very successfully, I might add. We're also waiving certain oil-related sanctions to reduce prices. So we have sanctions on some countries. We're going to take those sanctions off till this straightens out. Then who knows, maybe we won't have to put them on. There'll be so much peace. But when the time comes, the U.S. Navy and its partners will escort tankers through the strait if needed. I hope it's not going to be needed, but if it's needed, we'll escort them right through. And we have the greatest mine-sweeping ability. We have the greatest ships, and all of the, we know exactly where they're placed. We'll get them out of there very fast, but we hope we don't have any of that. And again, if they do that, if they play that game, we're going to hit them at a level that they have not seen before. So we're winning very decisively. We're way ahead of schedule. Our military is the greatest in the world, with the greatest equipment and the greatest people in the world. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Iran's a very powerful country. They were going to take over the Middle East. If we did not hit them, they were going to take over the Middle East. They had thousands and thousands, since their last hit, they had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything else. Most are now destroyed, but they were going to take over the Middle East. Those weapons were aimed at Middle Eastern countries that had nothing to do with this. They were going to take over the Middle East, and they were going to try and destroy Israel. So we stopped it with good timing, and we're very proud to be involved in this, and it's going to be ended soon. And if it starts up again, there'll be they'll be hit even harder.
And my colleague Rohit Sharma continues to stay with us. Rohit, the implications of Donald Trump's speech can already be seen, and the claim that he made that the war is going to end very soon, and the Brent crude oil prices are already below $90 a barrel now, which were around $110 yesterday.
Yeah, and he also talked about how some people had predicted that oil was going to double, would probably reach 200 per barrel by the end of next week and whatnot. And I think it was very interesting. He gave a short interview to CBS right before the markets could close and said that he intends to end this war. And we saw the markets rally. We also saw the price of oil coming down. So I think those things are at play. And these are very telling signs that President Trump is listening to all concerns while conducting this operation. It is very important, again, for world economy. And he said that, that the clip that we were showing, that America is protecting the world in a way by ensuring that everybody can have access to oil and energy. So we'll have to, wait and watch on this one as to how Iran responds. I think their response and how they would do, what they would do next will actually define how closer we are to end this war. We've seen this before, that America wants to get out and the other country drags the war for forever. So I think a lot also depends on what kind of action America takes in the next few days, and what kind of damage they can inflict to bring Iran to the table and start negotiating a peace to end this war. Anjali.
Absolutely, Rohit, do stay with us. So there's a change in the Brent crude oil prices. The prices have fallen significantly after Donald Trump said in his speech that the war is going to end very soon. The Brent crude oil prices now stand at $90 a barrel now. In fact, Donald Trump also issued a warning to Iran over the Strait of Hormuz. Trump said that he wants to keep the Strait of Hormuz open and that Iran will be hit harder if it stops oil flow. So that is the warning from Donald Trump. And he also said that US is waiving sanctions to reduce the oil prices. Remember, the oil prices were up significantly because of the closure of Strait of Hormuz. The Brent crude oil prices were somewhere around $110 a barrel now. They were at an all-time high since June 2022, when they were at an all-time high because of the Russia-Ukraine war. And similar scenes were being witnessed yesterday also, but today the prices have fallen. And Donald Trump also said that he knew that the oil prices would go up ahead of war, but the oil prices are not as high as he was expecting it to be, and 100 million barrels of oil is en route from Venezuela. This is also what Donald Trump has claimed. So that is the warning from Donald Trump to Iran over the Strait of Hormuz. He has said that he wants to keep the Strait of Hormuz open, and if Iran does not allow the Strait of Hormuz to function, then Iran will be hit harder if it in any way stops the oil flow from the Strait of Hormuz.
We want to keep it that way. As we continue Operation Epic Fury, we're also focused on keeping energy and oil flowing to the world. And I will not allow a terrorist regime to hold the world hostage and attempt to stop the globe's oil supply. And if Iran does anything to do that, they'll get hit at a much, much harder level. I will take out those targets that were easy and that I mentioned just before. We'll take them out so quickly, they'll never be able to recover, ever. If they want to play that game, they better not play that game. In the long run, oil supplies will be dramatically more secure without the threat of Iranian ships, drones, missiles, nuclear menace, or anything. So the Strait of Hormuz is going to remain safe. We have a lot of Navy ships there. We have the best equipment in the world, inspecting for mines. Again, most of their ships are down at the bottom of the sea, but we will hit them so hard that it will not be possible for them or anybody else helping them to ever recover that section of the world if they do anything. In recent years, the regime and its terror proxies have launched attacks on hundreds of commercial vessels. We're putting an end to all of this threat once and for all, and the result will be lower oil prices, oil and gas prices for American families. We've done that. We've done it. We brought it very low. This was just an excursion into something that had to be done. We're getting very close to finishing that too. In the meantime, during this brief disruption, the United States is offering political risk insurance to any tankers operating in the Gulf. So we're putting up risk insurance. We'll perhaps go alongside of them for protection. We don't think it'll be necessary if it is. And if they do anything, the price will be incalculable. It will be so great that they will have wished they never did it, because you have to keep the straits flowing.
And my colleague Rohit Sharma continues to stay with us from Washington, D.C. Rohit, along with claiming that the Iran war is going to end very soon, Donald Trump has also issued a warning to Iran that it will be hit harder if it stops the oil flow through the Strait of Hormuz.
Making it very clear, why President Trump is inclined towards ending this war pretty soon. He understands that Strait of Hormuz is very important when it comes to securing global supply chains, when it comes to ensuring energy for the world. So it is very important to understand that President Trump is taking, a lot of views into consideration. He's not going to give up on his objectives. He still said, he's not ending the war tomorrow. There are still targets that America wants to hit. But after that, he thinks the war could end. And he's also ensuring and making sure he's putting the Iranians on notice. So assuming if this war goes on for, let's say, another couple of days or a week, he's putting Iran on notice that they cannot blockade Strait of Hormuz and that oil should flow. And also talked about China and how important, the oil energy security is for China, and ensuring that, he's going to be actually going to China in 3 weeks from now. So ensuring that, he's not he's not found in a bind when it goes to China. He's doing what he can to ensure that the world is not threatened, the economy does not sink, and as the price of oil, as we were discussing, stays in a range that it does not cause a lot of trouble for all global economies, including the United States. Anjali.
All right, Rohit, do stay with us. So that's the warning by Donald Trump to Iran. On one hand, Donald Trump has said that the Iran war is going to end very soon, but he's also warned Iran that if Iran tries to stop the oil flow through the Strait of Hormuz, then it will be hit very hard. Let's also take a look at how Iran has responded to this warning by Donald Trump. So Iran has hit back after Donald Trump's attack. Iran has said that we will decide the war's end. And Iran has also said that Trump's comments are nonsense and that they won't allow 1 liter of oil export. And it has also warned that regional oil exports are at risk. So that is how Iran has responded to the threat issued by Donald Trump. And Iran has threatened oil shutdown in the region, and Iran goes on to say that security for all or for none. So that is what Iran has said while responding to Donald Trump's attack. Remember, Donald Trump had warned Iran that if it tries to stop the oil flow, then it will be hit hard. But now what Iran is saying, that it is Iran which will be deciding the war's end, and that the comments by Donald Trump are absolutely nonsense, and that they won't allow even 1 liter of oil export. So Iran has made it clear that they won't be allowing the export of oil, and they've also warned of shutdown in the region, and they've clearly said that security for all or for none. So it will be either security for all or for none. That is what Iran is saying in response to the threat and the warning issued by Donald Trump. Remember, Donald Trump has said that the war is going to end very soon, to which Iran is now saying that the war will be ending on Iran's term, and Iran will be deciding when the war will end. And Iran has also said that they won't be allowing even 1 liter of oil export. So that is the warning from Iran, that the regional oil exports are at risk, and it has also threatened oil shutdown in the region. My colleague Rohit Sharma continues to stay with us. Rohit, despite the warning and the threat issued by Donald Trump, Iran is clear. Iran has responded saying that the war will end when Iran decides to, and that it has also threatened over oil shutdown in the entire region.
Well, again, goes to show, why President Trump said what he said, that he does not like the new leader, Mojtaba Khamenei. And the fact is, this is not a response that America would have expected. This is not a response that President Trump would appreciate coming from Iran. When President Trump is asking Strait of Hormuz to be opened up to ensure its safety so that ships can travel, vessels can travel, to ensure that the world can have oil. Iran is doing exact opposite of what President Trump's asking them to do. So this is again, it's a situation of conflict. We all knew it was always probably going to come back to this day that Iran would resort to blocking the flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz, and that's exactly what the Iranian leaders are saying. So that's one. The other thing is them saying that they will decide the end of the war, which is partly true. As I was saying earlier. That it all depends on how Iran wants to take this. Would they want to drag this on? And what is in it for them to drag this war on? So a lot has to still happen. I think President Trump today calmed the markets, calmed everybody across the globe, ensuring that the price of oil could stay low, ensuring markets react or do not react adversely with the ongoing war in the Middle East. But I think Iran is doing the exact opposite, even after President Trump saying that he is going to hit 20 times harder if Iran does something like this. So a lot has to happen right now, Anjali. I mean, people thought that President Trump would come out and announce that he's going to end the war, but I think Iran wants to play the long game, and I think that is where I think their power lies. The more pressure they put on the flow of oil, that will probably make sure that the Americans, A, either just go ahead and do what they're doing, which is bomb Iran, or B, also try to explore some off-ramp options to de-escalate the situations. Anjali.
Right, Rohit. So despite the warning that was issued by Donald Trump in his speech to Iran, Iran has hit back strongly. Iran has said that Iran will be deciding when the war will end. Remember, this comes after Donald Trump said that the Iran war is going to end very soon. In fact, Donald Trump had also warned Iran over Strait of Hormuz. He had said that Iran will be hit 20 times harder if it tries to stop the oil flow, but to which Iran has threatened of complete shutdown of oil export in the region.